Hi there, I'm Tom. I got a special treat for us today. Down here I've got a fast hitch, or a small prong fast hitch carrier that I'm going to put on the Super C. If you look here, you'll see that this is one of the options that they had, and there was also a single point one, and there was also a large point one for depending upon the application of what tractor you were using. So according to this, you put two boards on the upright and 3 on the horizontal. And then we've got this book here that shows us a couple pictures of it. And here you can see some various fast hitch implements. And then down here you can see the platform carrier. So this is what we're going to work on today. There's a parade tomorrow at the fair, and I want to get all this crappy boards off and see if I can shine up the paint a little bit. And then I've got a stack of oak over there that I'm going to cut up and replace these boards. So the first thing I have to do is get all these punky old rusted bolts off and get these boards out of here. Alright, so looking at this, I'd say this has been on for a real long time. The bolts have square nuts on them, and the 2x8s, they're creosote, and I just cut into it a little bit and I can smell the creosote. It smells like railroad tracks. So I'm going to have to take the Sawzall and snake down in behind the steel and then cut those bolts off the hard way. And there's quite a few of them, so there's no better time than the present to go get them off. So I'm gonna head over and do that. So if you want to watch, by all means, tomorrow I'm going to replace the 2 top ones for now, or the 2 uprights, and then I'm going to get some paint on it and get it done good enough for this time. The bottom looks fine. It's all, like I said, it's all creosote, so it's going to hold. It's just I want to get this mess off there. Alright, so I'm going to be real careful. I don't want to get any red paint on the creosote part. And if you can't get 2150 IH red, my second favorite is Rust-Oleum red, but it has to be the Rust-Oleum red. I don't like any other of the knockoff reds other than Rust-Oleum. Why am I not priming it? Because I'm going to have to slap 2 coats of this red on there. This red actually goes on really thick anyway. And supposedly they say you don't need primer with this paint, but I'm sure all you professional painters are cringing right now at this paint job. But it works. Alright, so it's 68 inches wide. It's a good size one. For some reason I was thinking they were only about 4 or 5 foot. Well, 60 inches is 5 foot. 5 foot 8. Got a couple of these boards here. That would be great, I guess. So I went to my brother's. He had a giant pile of wood, lumber, and he used to have a sawmill. I never really looked at it close. I just assumed it was hemlock because he'd sawed up a lot of hemlock. And then I went up and checked, and it was all oak. So he's got a giant pile of oak, and it's dimensional. It's rough cut from his sawmill. So this will be perfect. I'm gonna use his tractor with dimensional lumber that he sawed from his sawmill. And then the great thing about that, on top of it, is my floor is rotted right here. And it's about probably 4 or 5 feet. It's messed up. And this floor was 3-inch oak. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to do that. And I was thinking I'd use some pressure treated 2x and some 5/4 over the top. But nothing's going to be as rugged as oak. And I have some oak boards. So if I use 2-inch dimensionals here and then board over the top of that with 1-inch boards, there's my 3-inch oak. So I'm just going to cut it back to this first nail hole right here, or this nail. I'll get my construction blade on my skill saw, and that's not going to be any fun sawing that oak off, I can tell you that, but it has to be done. So the Farmall Fast Hitch came out in 1953. It was introduced with the Super C, and even though the Super C had been out for a couple of years, 1953 was the year that they released the Fast Hitch. And so like I said, the Fast Hitch was available first one in the Super C, and then it was available on the bigger tractors as well. In fact, they had tractor rodeos to show it off. They had 4 tractors and 8 implements, and they did a square dance to show how easy it was to pick up and drop off attachments. And I imagine they probably had plows, cultivators, a carry-all, a planter, a harrow, all stuff that didn't need to be hooked to the PTO. What's up, Dexter? Yeah, this is my latest find. Not sure what this was. It's a eye bolt with a 2-link chain on it. Not sure what it was. It's all rusted pretty good. But yeah, that's my latest thing I dug up. I actually want to show you something while it's on my mind, because I keep meaning to show it to you, then I keep forgetting. So it's over here. Let's go for a little walk out back again, and I want to show you something really cool. So here in New England, one thing we have tons of, as you can see behind me here, is rocks. And so a lot of times the old houses, they were sitting on a rock, either a stacked rock foundation. The fancier ones like mine has rocks stacked inside, and then around the outside it's granite there on their ends, and so it looks like a little bit better standing on their ends. Well, the way that was gotten a lot of times was they would just find a big rock, and then they would drill it. You can see these drill holes here, and they would split it off. And so the way that was done, they would use a drill, and the drill back then was just an iron drill with some spirals on it, and they'd hit it with a single jack, which is a regular hand sledgehammer, like a 3-pound or 5-pound sledgehammer, and also a double jack, which is a 2-hand sledgehammer. And so you'd have one guy down here with his hands turning that drill. Somebody'd hit it with a sledgehammer, they'd whack it, they'd turn it, and then they'd whack it and turn it and whack it, then they'd switch out. And so you had to be a really good shot with the sledgehammer, otherwise your friend there wouldn't have any hands left, they'd be mashed in. So, but you can see all these holes right here. These are all where the drill went through, and they split that rock off and cut granite. So you'll see that a lot. There's a lot of quarry mines too. You'll see a lot of those, but a lot of times on these old farms, they had big rocks, so they didn't have to go to a quarry and have stuff hauled in. They just went down back and started busting them up. A lot of the big projects, the town bridges or the town buildings, they'd go to the town quarry and haul stuff in on oxen. Sometimes they'd put it on a wagon. Sometimes they just use logs, and they just roll them on logs. They just keep putting the logs in front and rolling it until they got it where they wanted it. But they had big freight wagons for a lot of it, because they would cut it to, I think the most common size you'll see around here is maybe 2 feet wide, maybe a foot thick, and 5 feet long. And those were probably, I say easily handled, they probably weighed, I don't even know, 500, 600, 700 pounds or more, each one. I've actually got one sitting over here by the well, or the pump. I'll show you. So yeah, right here, here's a slab of cut granite. And so you can see the drill marks here, and then they just broke it off. And this isn't the prettiest piece around, because it's wider on this end than that end, but they'd fit it in the ground, so they might bury part of it, and then shave the end off of something, or cover it with another rock, depending on which way it was going. And then you can see over here on the house, the whole front of the house is cut granite too. But yeah, you'll see a lot of these old New England houses. They have, it'll be stacked rocks like that on the inside, and then they'll just put these on the outside on the fascia to make it look nicer. But you'll see this a lot up here. Just one of those things that came to my mind. I thought I'd show you while I was thinking about it. Well, I took the hay bob off, and when I was doing that, I realized the other flexible sway link, or whatever you want to call it, stabilizer link on the Mahindra, it's broken. And I've been really gentle with it. I haven't abused it. I've been in the military, and I've lived on a farm and been on construction jobs, and I know what abuse is. And I promise you, I have not abused it. I've just used it under normal wear and tear. And so it's been bent back and bent back. Well, enough times now it's just busted. So I'm going to plan B. You saw me do the first phase of that the other day when I was in a pinch, and I had to make it work. And so I'm just out here in the shed going through my junk piles again. And 9 times out of 10 I get rid of stuff just before I need it. But for whatever reason I didn't throw this out. And those two right there are off my first Kubota, and then these came off my second one. So I got a good supply of these things kicking around. The first Kubota I had, they broke, and then I ordered a brand new set, and then I sold it. So I should have taken the new set off and sold the Kubota with the old set. But generally, by the time I really decide I'm going to sell something, you know, I kind of hem and haw about stuff a little bit, and then I finally decide to sell it, and then next thing you know, the person that's buying it's here, and I haven't taken the stuff off, and it goes down the road, and then at some point in the future, I'm like, geez, I should have kept that. And story of my life. But regardless, I have another one of these, and I know how to make it work now. I just cut this bolt off this side, and I've got a clevis to go on the other side, and the drill pins. So we'll get this thing all back together and make it wicked sharp, and we'll be back in business. So I can go down to the log landing on the other side of my property. I've never showed you guys that. It's on the there's an access road, an abandoned town road on the other side of the property, and I own a quarter mile on that road. But I want to be able to get in there, and it hasn't been cleaned off since 2018 when they logged it, and it's starting to get growed up a little bit. So I want to go out there and bush hog it. And I got a pond out there. Maybe I'll bring the camper out and you know, cook some s'mores and stuff. But yeah, here's this broken one. This is where it telescopes. I think they call these telescoping sway links or something. But they break. And I don't know what they're made out of. They're made out of some kind of pot metal. They don't feel super rugged, but they bend. They fold up right in the middle, and then they're junk. That's about the only good part left on it is that drilled pin. I can save that for something else. I got a cotter pin in here. I got to pop it out and then take this out and make this side look like that side, and then I think we'll be in business. So let's go in the barn and work this up. You know, now that I think about it, I think I got a bucket of junk. Well, it's not all junk, it's treasure. But, you know, I got some of these threaded rods in here, and I think I might have another couple of turnbuckles from the phone company shoved in there somewhere. You know, when they used to put guy wires up? Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Anyway, I know they're kicking around here. They're galvanized too. So let's take the Sawzall and cut this one off to look like this one. Hey Dexter, what are you up to? Oh man, you don't miss too many meals, do you? I don't know what you eat. This cat's built like a brick crap house. It seems like I just hauled my junk off to the scrap yard, and next thing you know, I got another pile. But I think I took this spring. I took, oh geez, what did I take? I can't remember how many pounds now. It was I don't know. I got $150 anyway, and then I took another load down not too long ago. I got $18, and it's just about worth driving in the dooryard with it because, well, the place is kind of a mess. If you've ever been to a junkyard, and I'm always afraid I'll pop some tires out, so I think next time I'll just take it to the town dump, and they can have it, you know, a couple 100 pounds of junk, and they'll donate the metal to the town. They can have it. At least they'll save me a flat tire. I don't know how all this crap keeps finding its way on my workbench. And then you start a Sawzall and something vibrate, and everything just works itself right off onto the floor. Case try this angle and see how it works. This camera stand's got a magnet mount on it, so let's see how it works out. Some people have torches. I never had a torch. Not that I didn't want one. I mean, I got a little propane torch, but I've always been able to get my nephew or my brother-in-law or somebody to come weld for me when I needed it. But it might be on my list of stuff that I need is a torch and maybe a wire welder. So anyway, I'll throw that piece of metal over there with my piece of junk. Pat's Easy Change. I think that was probably one of the biggest pieces of junk ever invented. It's always slopping around. The ball joint's always hanging down off to the side. The U-bracket's always loose or broken. I think you need a longer top link. The spring clips and the washers are always gone, so you'll be out there bush hogging and your parts gone, your bush hogs hanging, and you know, people are like, oh, you must have abused your equipment, that's why it happened. And I'm like, no, dude, it's not abuse, it's just out there bush hogging like a normal person would do, and the stupid thing can't even hang on to, or can't even hold up to that. So I don't know what you do with your tractor, but you probably don't do much work with it. So anyway, I hate to be overcritical, but you know, sometimes people make comments and you know, I just think, whatever, you know, obviously you don't use it too much. So I watch some of these other you know, YouTube channels about tractors and stuff, and you've always got some sharpshooter genius that's telling you know, the YouTube creator that he's doing this wrong or that wrong, and you should do this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, why don't you just watch and keep your commentary to yourself unless you have something productive? But I guess. All right, I see 3 of them. Where's the other one? Oh, there he is. He's down there in the corner. Right there. See him? And then there's one, and then the other 2 are right there. So, okay. What I gotta do is I gotta fix this piece of fence here. I bought this cheap sheep wire, woven wire a few years ago, and they just keep popping the clips out. And now they pop the bottom out. You can see all the sheep wool there. This is a piece of junk. Yeah, see, I got another one of these right here. I got my lineman pliers and my fence tool. I got a hammer and a crescent wrench. I just got tired of putting them in and taking them out, so I just leave them in here all the time now. They usually have a pretty good supply of fence clips. And the gator too. So I talk a lot about my Kubotas, and so the first one was I bought when I moved here. It kind of came with the place, and it was an early 80s. What was it? A L275. And it was a good tractor, but there was absolutely no safety features on it. And in fact, I was bush hogging Gracie's meadow out there within the first year or 2, and the seat fell off. And if I hadn't been holding onto the steering wheel, I would have gotten bush hogged. So I had another seat. I put that on there and with some angle iron and stuff, and sent that tractor out of here pretty quick. There was no ROPS on it or anything, and I just figured it was time for that tractor to find a new home somewhere. So I bought an L270, an L2501. That was a DT. That was what they call dual traction. It was a hydrostatic. It was a standard shift, and it was a great tractor for what I originally bought it for, which was basically Ted and hay, rake and hay. It worked fine on the bush hog, even though it didn't have live power. Cultivating, hauling wagons around, it was great for all that. And then what happened is I bought myself a snowblower, and with a snowblower, as soon as you push in the clutch and you got snow in the chute, it would plug up solid. So that wasn't working out too well for me. So I sold that and bought this tractor here, which I don't have any regrets about buying this Mahindra. I really like it a lot. There's been a couple couple things that I wish were different. Number one, those stupid sway links are garbage. I wouldn't be able to look somebody in the face, with that design. But the rest of the tractor's been really good. It's been reliable. It's rugged. It is easy to maintain. The dealership's great, and that was one of the reasons I actually bought the Mahindras, because the dealership sold me, and they've really been outstanding to me. They've whatever I've needed. So I've bought 2 Mahindras off them. The Cub Cadet. I had a snowmobile I bought off them. The Hay Bob, my sickle mower. My brothers have all bought a bunch of stuff. My wife's grandfather. We've bought a lot of stuff over there, and so they treat me real well. So yeah, this Mahindra's been a good tractor. It's a Mitsubishi Mahindra. It's made in Japan, and I've had good luck. This both this tractor and the Max, they're both made by Mitsubishi in Japan, and I think they're pretty good quality, actually. I know people have had horror stories about different Mahindras, and some people don't have any. The old International Harvester design Mahindras, I think they still have a few. Those are bulletproof. They just have a collar shift transmission and a couple of remotes, a category 2 hitch, and power steering and stuff like that. And nobody ever has trouble with them. When I think a lot of those TYM branded Mahindras is where people start getting into trouble. Or Mahindras that are made by TYM, they're basically a TYM tractor with a Mahindra engine in it, and it's funky how many different players are in with Mahindra. TYM for sure, and then Mitsubishi. I know people have TYM tractors and love them too. I guess it's I don't know. I don't have any comment. I guess if you like what you like, but these I've had Mitsubishi tractors before, and I like them, and so this tractor's been a good tractor, and like I said, the dealership's been good. But this sway link here, garbage. Are you listening, Mahindra? Garbage. This is a piece of crap. This is probably, I'm sure in the design studio it looked great, but in the field it's junk. I think, anybody who designs stuff ought to spend a year as a mechanic before they do it, because then they'd know how hard it is to work on stuff when they put stuff in crazy, stupid places. Or, like my John Deere Gator, the oil change on that, it's better than the first Gator I had, I'll tell you that, but still not ideal for sure. Alright, so I think I got this down to a science. So this right here is my turnbuckle. Move this up here so you can see what I'm doing. I think so. Alright, so this is a cheap clevis. Well, not cheap, but inexpensive clevis from the hardware store. Let's take this like that and hook this on here. Take 2. Like this. Just like this. So I got this on just like that, and then this goes on here like that. And I take one of these, put that on there, and then this we just collapse this up here. Am I going the right way? Probably not. Oh, the missus is home. Almost there. Just collapse this here. A little bit more. here. So we got quite a few eggs in here. I already got, what did I get? 14 already. 16, 18, 21, 24, 25, 26. I don't think you ever move, do you? 28. The ladies really like it when I put new straw in. When it's new straw day, they get pretty tickled about that. They have to come in and check it all out. Fluff it up, eat it, kick it out. Quite something they get squawked up about. They're always squawking about it. They're in here clucking around. Well, I'll go take care of these eggs and get them down at the stand. I guess that's it for me today. I appreciate all of you who tune in and watch, and I appreciate your commentaries and your commentary and your advice, kind thoughts, etc. And hope those of you who are watching for the first time find this interesting enough to subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.